Hi, so today we will revisit our project with OPNsense. We got our hands on a piece of machinery, a firewall router, which rocks an Intel Celeron J1900. But sadly, when I cleaned the machine and replaced the thermal paste, the video got corrupted. The quality also is corrupted. So I'm gonna show you a fraction of what I've done. Now, this piece of technology, it's as old as 2019 or 2018. I couldn't find the listing on Amazon, AliExpress or eBay, but from my understanding, the client that wants it to be fixed cost him back in 2019, he paid around 250 euros. That being said, I'm gonna show you the closest thing to it, which is pretty much the same money, maybe a little bit less, depending from where you're going to order it. And the reason we are taking this approach is we want to dive a little bit more into networking. So this special project, well, more like a request from a friend, until he renovates his establishment. I have a couple of weeks to play around with it. So we will deploy, it's already been deployed to be honest, OPNsense. But if you want to know how to install that, you can check my previous video. With no further ado, we're gonna get into it. And the first thing we're gonna look at is what I found that is close to this mini PC firewall slash router. So this is the closest I could find on Amazon. At least the CPU is the CPU that I have, and I checked on the BIOS, the same as the RAM memory, which is DDR3, 2 gigabytes. The SSD, it's actually a 38 gigabyte SSD, and it is a fanless, passively cooled. Now this one, obviously you can put pfSense, but since we are doing OPNsense, actually this is what's already installed on the PC. You can check for other options which are a little bit cheaper and a little bit more powerful. So we have a Twin Lake N150. Obviously it's a better processor than the other one. It rocks a DDR4. It has an M.2 SSD, right? And you have 1,000 megabytes per LAN. This one has only 2 ports, sadly, but I'm pretty sure for a 230, 240, you can find probably one with 4 or more ports. Now, when it comes to networking, there are several options. I'm not sure if you can deploy a pfSense on a already existing router, so, or maybe a router that you have from your ISP. But I do have a couple of projects lying around, which involves a couple of ARIS modems that used to be used for ISPs. Sadly, the project that I'm trying to deploy on them are not ready for that particular model. And we're going to discuss a little bit more in some other videos about OpenWRT, where you can flash a USB and make the router that your ISP it's giving or you have from your ISP. You can flash that software OpenWRT and you can replace the software that is by default coming with your router from your ISP. Obviously, the reason you want to do that is to take full control of your router, and that will actually block the ISP from getting into your system and troubleshooting. But it comes with a caveat. And we will probably discuss more when the time comes. But remember, if you flash your um, ISP router, there is a way you can roll it back. But if, let's say, you have a internet issue and you call your ISP to fix it, they will not be able to do anything for you because they will not have their proprietary software on it. But with all that said, let's have a look at what we deployed on our mini firewall. And we are rocking a OPNsense 25.1. Prior to the video, I actually did the update on it. And the only thing we will have to do right now is to log in. Obviously, the username is root. I've changed the root password because that's what you should do. And we are in. So nothing much to see here. Uh, Before the video, we went from 25.1 to 25.1.3. We can actually check that if we go to system, firmware, status. We can check for updates. Everything is up to date, which is good. Packages, everything looks good. And plugins. Here for the plugins, probably you can read on your own free time. You can get all the information on the web page, even on GitHub. You can deploy pretty much whatever you have here. Now, what we want to do with this device is pretty simple. If we go to interfaces, we have 4 interfaces because we have 4 LAN ports, but we will deploy also some virtual IPs later on. On the LAN, I already gave it a static IP, and we will configure further down the line. We're gonna split in 4 different IPs, IPv4s. This one is starting with 10, which is the LAN, but then for optional 1 and optional 2, we don't have any IPs, but we will assign later on. For the WAN, I'm using my DHCP on my existing infrastructure. So this is again a private IP, which comes from my router, but this is how I'm getting internet. And if I do, what's my IP? So I'm gonna do IP config all. I can see we have assigned a 10.1.1.3, and this is through DHCP. I've set the DHCP on this LAN to be from where is the LAN? From 10.1.1.2 until 10.1.1.15, if I'm not mistaken. But right now, I want to change that to a static so I know I don't have any issues later on. And this is what we're gonna do. Manual, we're gonna keep the same that we already have. Subnet, the usual subnet. Gateway will be the IP we set on the LAN, so .1.1.2. DNS, we're gonna leave it as it is. We're gonna click save. It wants DNS. So let's do Google. Let's do Cloudflare. and we are set. Let's test that we have internet connection. Yes, we do. And now let's continue. So the first thing I like to do is prevent the interface removal. And we're gonna hit save. And I'm gonna do the same with one. And this save is not done. Like if you click just save and then you move on or you log out, it will not apply. What we need to do is apply changes. It will take a little bit. And it's done. The next thing I like to do is to change the theme because it's burning my eyes. And for that, we'll have to go to firmware plugins and then search for a dark theme. And we will install it. And now to apply it, we need to go to settings, general, and here under theme, I'm gonna choose the one that we've installed. I'll click save. And that's done. Looks kind of weird, not gonna lie. Let's see the other one. Will just take a second. This one looks better. But I think we've downloaded this one. Let's see which one. Right, so Cicada looks the best, not gonna lie. So after you've done with this shenanigans, you can choose whatever. You can actually find more. What was it? Plugins. I just typed dark, but if you go with themes, you're gonna have a bunch more options that you can choose from. But the next thing that I want to do, which is very important, is its access. And the access will define the users. If you ask me, I would simply create a new user and I'll put a username different from what we have here as root. And I don't know, you can be creative. I'm just gonna don't judge. I'm gonna give it a strong password. And I'm going to ignore everything here. And I will select admins under group membership. But I'm going to give all pages because I just want to use this new user as opposed to the root one. So we will click save. And now with root, can actually edit this, but it's not a good idea. You can delete it, but again, that's not a good idea. Just, create a new user, change the password, put something stupidly long and strong for root, and then use the second one. So let's log out and use the new user. Right, so right now we are logged in with the second user. We still have access to everything, right? So that's good. Now for the lobby on the dashboard, again, I do have a tutorial on how to install OPNsense, even though it's a little bit older. It's a couple of version behind, if I'm not mistaken, was which one is this one? This one is the 2507. I think we had 23 or 24.7 back in August. Yeah, but it doesn't matter. You can edit and you can play around with this UI over here. You can switch it around. You can do whatever you want. I'm going to leave it as it is because right now we are not playing with the dashboard. But in conclusion, for now, this will be it with this video. We will have a follow-up on our next release, either Sunday or next Monday, where we will deploy the optionals and we will create the virtual IPs because we need different networks for different devices that will be available on that premise. That being said, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you like, please leave a like. If you find it useful, please share it with your friends. And I hope to see you next time. Have a good one.